he has just changed his name again.
I thought you said you're booking us for dollar fishing. That's your favorite show. Oh, it's the new show, yeah?
And you forget that Don Jerry guy, Fag. He dresses Lynn cheap. Honest to God, he looks like a devil.
The head was a dipshit, and I'll say it. He was a dipshit. He quit on his damn team. Give me the coffee. I'll take the coffee.
Gonna do that like Patrick Waugh? You better play like Patrick Waugh! You can't tell your defense that you want this and that and this.
Tough questions is, why the fuck do you want to work with the guard? Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome to another episode of the Penalty Box with your host, Kelal Ocmin. I know some of you may have noticed already, because you are very quick and keen, that I am wearing a Boston Bruins third jersey. I'm not really a Boston Bruins fan. I'm wearing this jersey in tribute to the tragic events that happened at the Boston Marathon, Boston Strong. We here at the Penalty Box and at VHL Studios want to give our thoughts and prayers out to those who reside in the Boston area, and those who may be affected by the tragic events at the Boston Marathon. It is good news that the assailants, or the suspects, have been apprehended and or killed, thank God. I do hope that if you have friends, relatives, family members, or anybody of significance that you know of in the area, that all is well, and I hope that you guys are on the road to recovery. So we here at the Penalty Box are in support of Boston Strong. With that being said, with this episode of the Penalty Box, we're going to be diving into the playoff picture across the VHL. And there is some teams of significance this season in the VHL. Some records have been broken. Or should I say a curse? But we'll get into that in a little bit. Max Stanley is currently on location. He's been on location in the state of Florida for about a week, and he caught up with one Winnipeg Jets owner, Parise, in a VHL exclusive interview with Parise. We'll have that shortly on this episode. Also, we have a status report from the BB&T Center where he is covering the Florida Panthers playoff series, one that broke a curse. That's right. The Ottawa Senators have made the VHL playoffs for the first time in their existence. So, we're going to dive right into it. We have more playoff coverage to get to. And we're going to start with the NHL Eastern Conference. The NHL Eastern Conference basically boils down to this. The Montreal Canadiens have taken the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, and they will be facing the number 8 seed Winnipeg Jets. The number 2 seed New Jersey Devils, the Atlantic Division winners, will be taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning, who fall into the 7th seed. And the number 3 seed Florida Panthers, as I said before, will be taking on the number 6 seed Ottawa Senators, who make their very first playoff appearance. And number 4 and 5 matchup is the Boston Bruins hosting the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's the Eastern Conference breakdown. Now, there are plenty of threads going on right now of who's picking who, who's doing what, who's this. I can tell you this right now. That Boston-Pittsburgh matchup is going to be one to watch. The 4-5 series is always a mirror match. It's going to be a tight race. I think that's going to go 7. I'm hoping for Boston, but I don't want to discredit Pittsburgh Penguins and Smirky. They always seem to pull that rabbit out of their hat. It's going to be a tight series, that's for sure. In the other series, New Jersey-Tampa, New Jersey looks like the dominant team, but Tampa has shown the grit and the grind to basically take it to their opponent. Now, there's been some squabbles between the Tampa Bay Lightning and their division rivals, the Winnipeg Jets, started by a famous Winnipeg Jets thread saying Jets Flight 82 on time with a mild chance of a thunderstorm, maybe a couple like seeds of lightning. It was funny. I'm paraphrasing. It was a funny thread. They got trounced by Tampa the last 2 games. 2-0 loss that Parise, during his interview, is very bitter about. And then lately they got beat 8-2, and Tampa Bay Lightning fans wrote a thread saying Winnipeg Jets Flight 28 has been grounded due to lightning. It's been kind of funny to see that rivalry build up on the forums, those squabbling back and forth. I didn't read the entire thread. I just thought the titles were hilarious. I thought I'd give a shout out to both authors. That was very entertaining. That should be an interesting series. Like I said, the Tampa Bay Lightning is a team with Drunk Bomber and company that they just, I don't know, they usually just infuriate their opponent to making mistakes. And it's going to be interesting to see what Lupo does with the New Jersey Devils if they're going to maintain their dominance that they have in the Atlantic Division. Are they going to be able to do that in this series against Tampa? I can't pick a winner. I really can't. I mean, Tampa's tough. Tampa is very tough. As far as the Montreal-Winnipeg series, there's a bit of bitterness within this series. Season 9, the Montreal Canadiens, all they needed to do was win a game in the last game of the regular season and they clinch. Or, if they lose, they couldn't give up more than 6 goals. They got mercied. They lost by 6, opening the door for the Winnipeg Jets to win their game against Carolina and make it to the playoffs. Now, at that time, Winnipeg had the Biohizzle curse going. If you all remember, Biohizzle failed to make the playoffs his entire VHL career until that very game against Carolina. Down 2 goals in the third, they pull the goalie, tie it, and they go on to double overtime, and they win the game. Biohizzle makes the playoffs for the very first time. And Montreal is left outside watching the Winnipeg Jets clinch the 8th spot. Montreal failed to qualify for the playoffs that season. Now, Montreal, dominant as they are, the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, they're facing off against those very same Jets. New look Jets. They don't have Ryan de Great, Dart Forsberg, and anybody else. They got Dudley Do-Right and a couple other players, and they're obsessed with Pokemon. I don't know why. But the ironic thing is Winnipeg's facing the Montreal Canadiens, but Winnipeg had to clinch a playoff spot in the exact same fashion. Down by a goal, tie it late, going to overtime against the Carolina Hurricanes in the last game of the regular season, yet again. The teams are about to take the ice. The Winnipeg Jets on the road at the Carolina Hurricanes. Little do the Jets know that coming out into the tunnel, final scores that just came in, the Montreal Canadiens have lost to the Boston Bruins by the score of 8-2. If Winnipeg wins this game, Winnipeg stamps its ticket to the postseason. Now Biohizzle with the puck. He passes over to Reggie Hauser. Here comes Lefreniere. They're pulling their goalie. Savage comes in and scores. 30.7 seconds left with a pulled goalie. Winnipeg is within 1 with 30.7 seconds left on the season. Down by 1. Now Carolina. Will they answer back? Will they put the dagger in the neck of the Winnipeg Jets? They can't handle the puck. Now here comes Reggie Hauser. Reggie Hauser gets the puck poked off his stick. Biohizzle pinches in. Gets it down deep in the corner. Blocks that outlook pass. Now picked up by Savage. Savage passes over to 2. Oh, can you believe it? Savage tries to pass it back to Reggie Hauser. Reggie Hauser tries to hit an open Forsberg, and it deflects off hockey player's stick into his own net. The Winnipeg Jets, after pulling the goalie, have tied the game at 4 with less than a minute left. The last game of the regular season. The game that decides if you make it to the playoffs. Down by 2 with 1 minute left. The Jets tie it. We're going to overtime. Does it get any more dramatic? RBK sniper, that puck's deflected net. Rebound, hits the post again. Now here comes Reggie Hauser. Reggie Hauser passes it to Savage. Savage comes in, Savage scores! Savage scores! Jets win! Jets are in the playoffs! They come back down 4-2 with less than a minute left in the game. Force overtime. Force a second overtime. And they win the game. Savage with a hat-trick goal punches the ticket to the postseason, and Biohizzle's curse is over! For those of you who don't know, Biohizzle has never made the playoffs in his entire VHL career. 11 seasons! And they do. They win the game in overtime, punching their ticket to the postseason, only to face off against Bob Swagger's Montreal Canadiens. This series may look like a mismatch on paper, but I guarantee you, when that puck drops, both teams do not like each other. Parise and Swagger have bad blood, all going back to season 9. This is what the VHL is about. This is the VHL about rivalries. Heated competition. It all boils down to this. It's now the playoffs. It's going to be another series to watch with interest. We'll get to Max Stanley on location in just a second. I'm going to break down the Western Conference playoffs when we come back after this quick break. Don't go away.
The following is a paid advertisement for Troll Wannabe University. LeagueArena.com and the Penalty Box have not endorsed any views portrayed in this advertisement. TW University, Troll Wannabe University. The brainchild for trolls everywhere. You want to be a forum troll? You want to learn the art of bashing others relentlessly for no apparent reason whatsoever? Then TW University is the university for you. Trolling. Follow our 3-step program at TW University on how to troll. It's an easy 3-step program. You can be a troll like the likes of other forum trolls known across the internet. Here at TW University, we use nothing but the state-of-the-art to get you up to speed on how to become a great forum troll, including but not limited to posting GIFs, posting useless, stupid comments. Are you mad, bro? And other interesting features. At TW University, not only do we teach trolling, we also have other electives, such as how to become a last resort NHL GM, how to screw over your own team by trading away all of your draft picks for nothing, then quitting on said team, how to get away with it by claiming Nana was sick for 2 seasons later. TW University, your one-stop shop for all your trolling needs. State-of-the-art equipment. Help bash the nubs who don't know shit. TW University. At TW University, learn under the tutelage of our greatest professor, UPS Wyatt, the troll wannabe himself, founding member and current dean of all trolls at TW University. Enroll today at TW University, Troll Wannabe University. All voices were impersonated by the impersonator.
I am not UPS Wyatt, but I do endorse this video.
Welcome back. Now in the NHL's Western Conference, the picture's a little bit more muddy, and it goes down like this. The President's Trophy winning Calgary Flames. That's right, the Calgary Flames, the Northwest Division leaders. Number 1 seed, going up against the number 8 seed San Jose Sharks. San Jose makes it as the 8th seed this season, or last season, because of shenanigans offline. They missed the playoffs, and Anaheim was able to squeak in as the 8th seed. This season, the 8th seed San Jose Sharks face off against the Calgary Flames. Smiles and cries. Brody, I can't remember who the hell the owner is. I think it's Blackland, or I don't remember. I don't fucking know. I don't follow the team. Sorry. I wish I knew more players on that team. I just don't. They're going up against the Calgary Flames, RJ York, and company. Should be an interesting series. San Jose made it by the skin of their teeth. Calgary's been dominant all season. The number 2 seed, the Central Division winning team, the Chicago Blackhawks, led by Lamoran and Active D, are facing off against the number 7 Columbus Blue Jackets, Medic Mike, Hext, and company. This series should be interesting, and the reason why it should be interesting is because Columbus was on the outside looking in for the majority of the season, and then they just clicked and turned it on, and they became a dominant team in that division. They gave everybody headaches, including Chicago. Now Chicago, who is battling with Calgary for the number 1 seed, they're in the number 2 seed. They're going up against a team that's determined to slay the giant. Can Columbus do that? I don't know. We'll find out when the playoff series starts Sunday night. The number 3 seed and the weakest of the division winners, and that's no disrespect to the Los Angeles Kings, or as they like to call themselves, the Hollywood Kings, but look at the point totals. They're in a weak division, they beat up on a weak division, and their point totals, if they weren't the division leaders, would have them down towards the back of the pack in the playoff picture. But because they are a division winner, they get the number 3 seed. They're going up against their division rivals, the Dallas Stars, with Matty Bizzle. Dallas finally makes it back to the playoffs after a little bit of a hiatus. This is a division rivalry with no team. Both teams don't like each other. Both teams have struggled against each other all season long. I'm not going to predict the winner. I'm just going to predict a hell of a show full of fireworks. And finally, the number 4 seed, the Northwest Division, Minnesota Wild, hosting the number 5 seed, St. Louis Blues. Dollar Vision for St. Louis. Yargage for Minnesota. Neither of these teams like each other. Both play very tough, very physical. Both have a lot of offense. Both can play defense. It's a mirror match from hell. Kind of like in the Eastern Conference. Now, if you're paying attention, you'll notice that I didn't say anything about Detroit. Even though Detroit, the last 2 seasons, have guaranteed a playoff spot. I'd say shut up with the fucking guarantees already. Because you just guaranteed that you're going to miss the playoffs. You're cursed. You've cursed yourself. Yes, that's right. Anthrax Dust, otherwise known as Nuge, sticks his skate in his mouth yet again, guaranteeing a playoff spot, and you finish yet again in 9th. That's your NHL playoff roundup. We'll be right back with the AHL roundup after this message. Don't go away. Welcome back. The AHL playoff picture is as follows. The AHL Eastern Conference, the number 1 seed, the Albany Devils, will be taking on the Hershey Bears. The number 2 seed, the Little Sens, the Baby Sens, will be taking on the Toronto Marlies. And in the 3rd seed, the San Antonio Rampage will be taking on the Providence Bruins. And in 4-5 slot, the Adirondack Phantoms going up against the Hamilton Bulldogs. In the AHL West, you have the number 1 seed, Houston Aeros, with 107 points, and the AHL version of the President's Trophy winning team. They will be taking on the 8 seed Lake Erie Monsters. The number 2 seed, Pierre Rivermen, will be taking on the number 7 seed, Norfolk Admirals. And in number 3, the 3-6 slot, Worcester Sharks taking on the Manchester Monarchs. A mirror match, if you will. Kind of. It's the 3-6 division rivals. And the 4-5 slot, you have the Rockford Ice Hogs going up against the Chicago Wolves. Now, in the CHL, yes, we're going to be covering the CHL. The CHL playoffs are as follows. The Eastern Conference, you have the 67s up against the Owen Sound Attack. The number 1 seed, Ottawa 67s, up against the Owen Sound Attack. The number 2 seed, Kamloops Blazers, will be taking on the Sudbury Wolves. Then you have the number 3 seed Cape Breton Eagles versus the Calgary Hitmen. The number 4 seed Red Deer Rebels will be taking on the Medicine Hat Tigers. That is your Eastern Conference standings in the CHL. The CHL Western Conference playoff matchups are the number 1 seed Portland Winterhawks taking on the Serena Sting. The number 2 seed Segna Spirit will be taking on the number 7 seed Buzzerbrand Armada. And then you have the number 3 seed St. John Sea Dogs taking on the number 6 seed Vancouver Giants. And the 4-5 matchup in the CHL Western Conference playoffs will be the Everett Silvertips going up against the Erie Otters. Good luck to all the CHL teams that have made the playoffs, and hopefully you guys have a lot of fun and may the best team win on the ice. So please, I know there's been problems in the past, CHL teams. Get your poop in a group, make sure you're shit together, and don't do nothing stupid on the forums, okay? Battle it out on the ice. Please, I beg you. We'll be right back with that exclusive interview with Parise and also our beat reporter on location at the BB&T Center in Sunrise, Florida. We'll be right back after this message. Don't go away.
Do not try to adjust your computers or your speakers. Why are you watching this trash? This is junk, and you know it. Why do you continue to watch this piece of shit spout off at the mouth about stupid shit in the VHL like he's some sort of God. That he knows everything about the Constitution, the rules, all this other shit that's going around in the league. It's junk. It's a lie. It's bullshit. You could be watching a show that makes you laugh. A show that's hilarious, that's funny, relevant, hip. That's right. You should be watching television. But I didn't tell you that. You told yourself that. I was never here. This never happened. I'll be erasing my tracks in a matter of seconds. You've been hacked by MASH. The Hacker's MASH. Watch television.
Thanks, Claw. Yeah, I know it's kind of unprofessional for me to be wearing an Ottawa Senators jersey when I'm supposed to be impartial, but I can't help it. The vibe is huge. The Ottawa Senators have not made the playoffs in their entire existence in the VHL, and with Agent Murphy and the guys that they have on the team right now, Matt the Cool Cat, Clark Kidd, they finally do. So I'm excited. It's VHL history I'm witnessing here at the BB&T Center as they get ready to face off against the Florida Panthers, the number 3 seed, in Game 1, set for 10 o'clock Eastern on Sunday night tonight. I'm excited. So is the electric crowd that's waiting outside. It says Pantherland, but I tell you this place is going to be half filled with Ottawa Senator fans. These fans have been waiting for so long. They're ravenous. They're foaming at the mouth. They don't know what to expect. They're in euphoria. Their team finally made it. And frankly, I'm one of them. Yeah, sue me. Anyways, you mentioned earlier that I had a sit-down interview with one Parise. We'll roll that footage. Thanks, Kelal. And I'm going to go find my seats to get myself a hot dog and a beer and watch this game. I like the Panthers. I really do. I think this game has some interesting talking points. You got Agent Murphy with now the Ottawa Senators, 2-time Jack Adams Award winner, as owner of the Florida Panthers, now facing off against his former team. Go Sens. Go Sens, baby. Gotta love it. Now, where the fuck are my seats? Max Stanley here with Winnipeg Jets owner Parise. Parise, you look kind of sour. You're coming off a bitter loss to your division rivals, the Tampa Bay Lightning. What's going on?
I don't know, man. We lost 2-0. I believe it's the first and second time we got shut out in the season, and to lose to Tampa 2-0, it's always frustrating to get shut out by a team. But I mean, we needed the 2 points tonight. We're so close to Florida in the standings, and it's just, you know, we needed 2 points and we didn't get it. So
what can you attribute the loss to? Did your team fall asleep on the blue line? Was Dudley Do-Right giving a team speech and you guys just failed to show up?
Well, Dudley Do-Right was in the party. He was talking too much, and I guess the team just fell asleep. I mean, to lose to the score 2-0 isn't that bad, but to lose, I mean, I guess Dudley Do-Right was part of the reason. I will blame him, Dudley. So, Dudley, I blame you for the loss, 2-0.
Alright, I'll rip it on Dudley aside. Another question that a lot of people have is, for the last 2 seasons on Winnipeg, you've had Ryder Great and Matt Skills. Now that you don't have those two, they went to Vancouver in the off-season. You guys been trying to pick up the void that was left by the power vacuum that was Ryder Great 8?
Well, you can't replace the Great 8, former 50-goal scorer for a couple seasons. And you can't replace a guy like that. So right now we're just trying to look. I don't know if we're in a rebuilding stage or not, but I mean, it would be nice to get someone like that back. But I mean, as far as I know, you know, we're still looking in great shape. We're in the playoff spot. So I mean, no offense against Rye, but you know, we're still in the playoff spot, so not really a loss. No offense to you, Rye, Grade 8.
Now, some people have accused Darth Forsberg of favoritism with the league and special favors, but looking at your schedule this week, 8 home games out of 9, who do you know on the inside to get that track?
Well, I don't know who's doing the schedule. I heard it was PHJ. Last week we had 2 home games, 7 away. This week we have 8 home, 1 away. I don't know why they just couldn't even it out, you know? So, who knows?
What's the worst thing about being the home team? I know home ice advantage is huge in the VHL, but there's also
the stats.
The stats.
The stats. Filling both teams out is the worst part. Although, back to the question about who I know, Ricochet is a red name. Even though he's on my team, you know, he is one person that you could try to blame.
Alright, so you're going to throw Ricochet, the Newfie, under the bus for the stats. For the scheduling.
I'll throw him under the bus, yeah.
Alright. So the season's winding down. There's less than a week left, or just over a week, I should say, in the season. What are your chances? I mean, you're currently engaged in a fierce battle for a playoff spot. You're within striking distance in the division. Do you have any predictions? You going to call anybody out? Where do you see the Winnipeg Jets finishing the season?
I could see us, hopefully we can win the division. We're so close to winning the division. As of right now, we're currently at 1 point under Florida Panthers, who are in the division lead. But then again, you have Tampa and Carolina and Washington, I believe, are literally right under us. So as long as we could, hopefully we'll take the home games as an advantage and win those games so we can hopefully take the division. If we can take the division, obviously we'll have home ice for the playoff round. But then again, I can't see us missing the playoff spot. We have a pretty good roster, and I can't see us missing the playoff spot. So I'm gonna guarantee us, mark my words, I'm gonna guarantee us a playoff spot for the Winnipeg Jets.
I know you're pressed for time. Your flight back to Winnipeg leaves shortly, within the next half hour or so. In fact, I've seen a couple of your players trying to make it to the plane. Someone said Dudley was sleepwalking again. Before leaving Florida, licking your wounds from Tampa, who on the schedule do you got coming up that you're really looking forward to playing?
Obviously, Florida Panthers, Washington Capitals, basically the whole division. I am looking forward to playing against San Jose. I don't know who else we have on the schedule, but basically I'm just going to say our divisional games, because those are the most important points that we could possibly get.
Well, Parise, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on the penalty box. I'm sure Kelal likes us back at the studio.
Thank you, Max.
Best of luck in the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Max. For Max, Stanley, Parise, and everybody else who's contributed to this show, and for all those teams that have made the playoffs from the NHL to the CHL, best of luck. For us VHL fans who are currently not in the playoffs, I want to say to all of you, we'll see you at center ice when the playoff puck drops. Best of luck to all the teams in the playoffs, and those teams that didn't make the playoffs, best of luck next season. For everybody at the Penalty Box, I'm Kelal Ocmin, signing off. Good night.